We know that eating lots of fruits and vegetables is one of the best things we can do for our health, but are we taking that next step to clean them well so that they're good for us, our health, and our wallet? We've all been there. Sometimes our produce just ends up looking as sad as we do. Properly washed and stored produce can stay fresher, longer, and help prevent weird science experiments from growing in our produce bins. Even if we're fortunate enough to be able to buy organic produce, they are still exposed to pesticides, and of course, they're grown in dirt, which can have bacteria and fungus. So, what can be done to prevent beautiful food from going bad? They say the proof is in the pudding. 1 month ago, I bought these yellow peppers from the clearance rack from my local market. These are usually toward the end of their life. I brought them home and gave them my usual treatment and proceeded to eat one because peppers are my favorite. I really should have left one untreated as a control for a true scientific experiment. 1 month later, this is the only rot spot of all of them. The other 2 have no rot on them at all, and all 3 are still edible if I just cut away the bad part and throw them in a stir fry. To me, this is proof that these solutions work. The remaining vegetables that went south were not treated at all because I did not have time. The first homemade cleaner is the produce soak. I start by filling a large bowl with 2 quarts or 8 cups of water. This is a 4-quart bowl, so I just fill it halfway. Then I add 1 heaping tablespoon of baking soda and mix gently to dissolve. And now I have my own produce soak to help remove dirt and pesticides from my produce. Let's look at one study from 2017 in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry. They compared the effectiveness of 2 cleaning solutions, one of bleach and the other of baking soda. It states that surface pesticide residues were most effectively removed by baking soda. Using a 10 milligram to 1 milliliter baking soda solution, it took 12 to 15 minutes to completely remove surface residues. Furthermore, in the presence of baking soda, that bad stuff can degrade, which assists the physical removal force of washing. The second cleaner is an all-purpose produce spray made with white distilled vinegar, which we buy in bulk from Costco. I reuse these 32-ounce glass ACV bottles, also from Costco, and add 1 cup or 8 ounces of vinegar to it, then fill the rest with filtered water to result in a 1 part vinegar to 3 parts water solution. This produce spray is meant to disinfect the food after they have gone through a soak. It's also a safe all-purpose cleaner to use around all foods. Just be sure to keep it away from granite and wipe up spills quickly. Vinegar and granite do not mix. Once I get produce home, I start by giving them all a good long 15-minute soak in that baking soda solution. I like to use my bowl, but if you want to go faster, you can fill a whole sink or large bucket of water and just do the same by keeping a similar ratio of that 10 grams of baking soda to 1 liter of water. For me, I change out this solution every 3 or 4 soakings. For this particular round, I made 2 soaking solutions. I start with the leafiest first, and for today that means this red lettuce. I make sure to separate the leaves so the soaking liquid gets into all the nooks and crannies. I want to make sure that all the leaves come into good contact with the solution. I place the leaves in my salad spinner I got from IKEA, give it a good rinse under the tap, and spin it dry. Excess moisture is another enemy here, so if you don't have a spinner, then blot your produce with an absorbent towel. To store these, I lay the leaves flat in a single layer on the towel, also from IKEA, roll it up gently, and these leaves are ready to be used throughout the week. For the parsley or any leafy herbs, I give them the same treatment, but I store them in a glass of water on the counter overnight until the leaves air dry completely. Then I cover with a bag over the top. Grapes are the same, and after soaking and rinsing them, I give them a good spin dry, and I do my best to ensure that they stay on the stem. I find that they keep fresher for longer this way. I wrap them in a cotton towel to wick away that moisture. Reusing some of these old containers from previous produce also helps to organize my produce bin a little better. Peaches. These tend to have those little bugs that creep me out a little bit, but the soak does take care of them. I make sure to remove any of the stickers, stems, and those little bugs. Pears tend to get moldy on the bottoms, and this really kills all the spores to prevent that from happening. Cucumbers, carrots, limes, these all get the produce soak, rinse, and produce spray, which I let sit for a few minutes and then another rinse. For these larger items that don't fit in the spinner, I dry with a clean towel. For broccoli, I soak the crown, and this will release any dirt or bugs that the buds are hiding. To store them, I use a little glass yogurt container filled with water and stand them up in the vegetable bin. Green onions I soak last because they tend to smell, and I store them on a counter in a glass jar filled with water, just like a pretty plant. For onion, garlic, ginger, zucchini, cabbage, and potatoes, I wash them all in a similar way, but only when I'm ready to use them. Otherwise, I keep them stored out in room temperature in their whole form. For larger items like bananas and watermelons, I always spray with the vinegar right when I get home. I completely wet all sides of it and leave it in the sink so that the vinegar can dry completely on the skin. This prevents those little flies from hatching from those bananas. And definitely for melons, I give them a good wash before cutting because the blade draws through the outer skin of the melon. So we definitely want to make sure that the outside is clean so that we can eat that beautiful flesh. And if a science experiment does end up growing in your refrigerator like mine, please take the time to wash it out with some soap and water. That vinegar spray will definitely kill anything that is bad in there. Being stored in clean containers will also help your produce stay fresh for longer. This produce will last us for about a week, and we will go through it. I've learned to buy what we'll use in a reasonable amount of time. I've also been learning to buy living foods as possible. Herbs and lettuce are excellent examples. These will last for months with proper care. Another thing I like to do is to stock up on frozen veggies when I can because they're so quick, easy, and still very nutritious. They're great to add to give more nutrition to very basic, quick meals when life gets busy. Combined with simple pantry ingredients, these longer-lasting fruits and veggies are sure to give us healthy meals throughout the week. This last round rotted because we had too much. I went to the store and my in-laws visited unexpectedly and gifted us with a box of vegetables from their garden. It was way more than I had time to properly clean, store, and prepare, which ended up working out in my favor. This video would not have been possible without that. So I hope this helps you to clean your produce better and to keep them fresher for longer. Let me know down in the comments how you clean and eat your fruits and veggies. Thanks for watching, and I wish you happy eating. I'll see you next time. And now YouTube, with a fridge full of fresh and clean produce and a slightly emptier wallet, I mock a very popular show and say,
Did you use my mom's trick or whatever?